His eyes were big as saucers, and I could tell that he was on some sort of mind-altering hallucinogenic.
Her son used psychedelics. Then her world turned upside down.
Passed away in my husband's arms while I was calling 911.
But others say it saved them.
Our primary goal is just to bring it out of the shadows. We want them to be able to be certified, be out in the sunlight, not have to worry about getting arrested.
Today, we're looking at the potential benefits of mind-altering drugs.
It gave me a sense of self-understanding and self-forgiveness.
The impact could be profound in terms of giving people another option to heal.
And if they outweigh the risks.
My biggest concerns is that we're going to get a lot more stories about kids like Shane.
This is CBS News Bay Area with Elizabeth Cook.
Thank you so much for joining us on this Friday. The talk about psychedelic drugs has changed over generations. But as a state bill to allow regulated use moves forward, arguments remain over how they're used and if they should be used at all. Are mushrooms really magic, or are they a menace? A new bill to get psychedelic drugs legalized here in California is moving through the state Senate right now. It's scaled back from a previous version, this time focusing on the use of those drugs in therapy. Our Kenny Choi shows us why it could make a huge difference for people with mental health struggles.
Nina Olmstead has struggled with anxiety most of her adult life. Her first ketamine-assisted therapy session proved to be a breakthrough.
It gave me a sense of self-understanding and self-forgiveness that is kind of what I was trying to cultivate through therapy.
Years of traditional therapy and taking anti-anxiety medication didn't work for the Menlo Park resident.
I've just found that, psychedelic therapies and like alternative therapies are a really powerful substitute for those kinds of medications.
Lindsay Olshan is a trained psychedelic-assisted therapist and founder of Fodden, who leads one-on-one ketamine journeys.
We're finding with the psychedelic approach is that people are actually getting into the root cause of a lot of those symptoms and being able to process that fully so that they're not requiring those medicines anymore.
Olshan has cultivated her practice for 20 years, but it was only 4 years ago when she added psychedelic-assisted therapy using ketamine.
It just deepened people's ability to heal. It enriched the therapeutic process. It gave me a more passion for what I'm doing because it really is feeling like I'm moving the needle with people in a way that has been hard to do.
Prescribed ketamine sessions are legal in California, but the use of psychedelic drugs like hallucinogenic mushrooms and MDMA, commonly known as ecstasy, are not. State Senator Scott Wiener is trying to change that.
It's all in the shadows because it's technically a crime. And so our primary goal is just to bring it out of the shadows.
Wiener's years-long push to decriminalize the possession of psychedelic drugs came to an abrupt halt with a veto by Governor Newsom last fall. This revised bill wouldn't make recreational use legal, but rather open the doors for psychedelic-assisted therapists.
We want them to be able to, be certified, be out in the sunlight, not have to worry about getting arrested. And that's really one of our goals here.
The California Coalition for Psychedelic Safety and Education, one of the most vocal critics of Wiener's last bill, now supports this latest version.
We felt that the therapeutic regulated access should come first, and then we should learn from that before we explore decriminalizing for recreational use.
I think the impact could be profound in terms of giving people another option to heal and to have that be done in a very regulated, safe environment.
The combination of working with the ketamine and the traditional therapy kind of fused things for me in a way that was really, really impactful.
For Nina Olmstead, the shift she has experienced is enough proof for her.
Now, if signed into law, the bill would create a licensing board and also would require drug facilitators to hold at least one medical license. Now, there are opponents who worry that making these drugs widely available could have devastating consequences if they fall into the wrong hands. Greg Burt with the California Family Council is one of the people fighting to shoot down this bill.
Part of what it does is it makes you lose touch with reality. Now, sometimes people have good reactions with that, but there's a lot of people who have terrible reactions. They think they can fly. They don't know where they are. They have violent reactions to this.
And we're also hearing from a mother on the forefront on the fight against this bill. She says psychedelics cost her son.
My biggest concerns is that we're going to get a lot more stories about kids like Shane.
Her emotional story coming up next. And the author of the bill joins me live to talk about why he believes it could save lives. We'll be right back. Let's get back to our conversation here at 3 o'clock today. A California bill aiming to legalize the regulated use of psychedelic drugs like magic mushrooms for therapy. Supporters say it could provide breakthroughs against anxiety and other ailments. But opponents say it's just too dangerous and say the drugs could still get into the wrong hands. We met a mother who is fighting this bill after she lost her son in a fatal accident after he took psychedelics. She shared her emotional story with our Lauren Toms.
Fearless enthusiasm. That was my boy.
As Lisa Hudson walks around her home, her son Shane is celebrated.
Shane is an amazing, sparkly soul. He had 1,000 friends. He was everybody's best friend.
Today, she's speaking out against legislation that could decriminalize certain hallucinogenics, including mushrooms, the drug her son took that led to his fatal accident in early 2020.
His eyes were big as saucers, and I could tell that he was on some sort of mind-altering hallucinogenic. Now I have him in my arms, and he says, I'm talking to God, and it's all about love, and love is life, and life is love, and I know it's all so easy. It's right in front of me. And Shane all of a sudden stands upright and runs down our stairs and runs out on the deck. And as I run after him down the stairs, as I hit the bottom of our stairs, I see him running off of our deck with his arms straight out saying, I've got this, I've got this. And he plunged 40 feet into our backyard and passed away in my husband's arms while I was calling 911.
Studies have shown that controlled use of psychedelics can help treat depression, anxiety, and other mental health disorders. But research by a group of doctors at Stanford shows hallucinogenic-related hospitalizations spiked 74% between 2016 and 2021. Adverse effects can include psychological trauma, erratic behavior, accidental injuries, and even death. Just what Lisa is most afraid of.
My biggest concerns is that we're going to get a lot more stories about kids like Shane.
She says she's happy to see the drugs decriminalized, but safeguards like public education and first responder training need to come first.
Something needs to happen to make sure that our community, our kids, are safe. As safe as they possibly can be.
And that others will look to her son as a source of light and learning as time goes on.
Joining me this afternoon now is author of the bill, State Senator Scott Wiener. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's give your response to the opponents who worry that psychedelics could potentially end up in the wrong hands.
Yeah, I mean, that story is incredibly just horrific and tragic, and no mother or parent should ever have to go through that. And we want to make sure that that does not happen in the future because we know people, including young people, are using these drugs now. And so let's bring it into the sunlight so that people can use under the supervision of someone who is trained and licensed to be able to provide this therapy. And that's what this bill does. And we actually have a group of mothers who also lost their children after a bad psychedelic experience who are strongly supporting our bill because it will allow for supervised use, and the bill creates an education fund so that we can get better education to the public.
So who do you think this bill benefits the most? Is it the doctors? Is it patients? Is it people who use it recreationally?
I think it benefits people who are having mental health or addiction struggles, which we know that these substances can help people turn their lives around. And it helps people who want to use these substances to get better, but instead of using in secret because it's criminalized, they can go to someone who knows what they're doing and get that kind of supervised use and get better.
Do you think that the perspective around psychedelics is changing? I mean, you think 10, 20 years ago, you thought of psychedelics as something that people really did do in the shadows, something you did at music festivals or raves, and definitely was not mainstream. But now you're hearing more and more about it's a little bit like what marijuana was 20 years ago.
Well, we need to be clear that people have been using psychedelics for thousands of years. In many cultures and religions, it's been used. People have been using it recreationally for many, many, many years, and they're going to continue to do so. But what we know, and this research started in the 60s, and then it got shut down by the war on drugs, and now it's restarted, is that these substances have huge promise for treating mental health and addiction disorders. And so that research, it's just incredibly promising. We think the FDA at some point in the near future will approve some specific medications. But we also know that an enormous number of people are using these substances, and let's give them a path to be able to use with someone who's a trained professional and to be as safe as possible.
What, in your mind, would ideal regulations be on psychedelics, say here in California?
Well, ideally, if you, let's say you were, if you're someone who is struggling with a mental health challenge, you will be able to go to someone and you'll be able to obtain a substance that is not adulterated, right? You're not buying it off the street, but you're getting it in a more professional way. And then you can use it with someone and have them guide you through it, help you do it as safely as possible. And if there is an issue, they'll know what to do so that you are safe. That's what we want, people to be able to have safe access. And that's why our coalition is a group of mothers, as I mentioned, who lost kids, but also a group of combat veterans and firefighters who suffered from extreme PTSD and other mental health problems because of the trauma from their roles, who literally, psychedelics saved their lives. They would have committed suicide, and they're alive today and healthy because of psychedelics. And why would we want to deprive people of that access?
So real quick, where does the bill stand right now?
The bill has passed through its first two committees. It's a long road in the California legislature, but we have a path. The governor vetoed a broader bill that we put on his desk last year, and he asked us to send him a bill focused on therapeutics, and that's what we're doing.
All right, we'll be watching.
Thank you.
State Senator Scott Wiener, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, still ahead, we look toward the future of psychedelics. Researchers exploring how to use or even alter the drugs to use as treatments in years to come. Northern California researchers are looking into the future of psychedelics with an effort to bring chemistry, neuroscience, and modern-day medicine together under one roof. Reporter Dina Kupfer tells us about the institute at UC Davis that's studying these once taboo drugs.
Psychedelics have some pretty profound effects on brain structure and function.
There is nothing distorted about this new reality for psychedelic research at UC Davis. The prestigious university launched an entire institute for psychedelics and neurotherapeutics.
They also promote the growth of critical neurons in the brain.
The goal, according to the founding director, David Olson, is to further understand how psychedelics impact the brain and how these drugs can treat a wide variety of brain conditions.
The atrophy of neurons in certain parts of the brain, the loss of synapses, impairs communication and can lead to diseases like depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, substance use disorder, and even neurodegenerative diseases.
Researchers study a broad range of compounds that alter perception, mood, and affect cognitive behavior, including psilocybin or magic mushrooms, LSD, MDMA, commonly known as ecstasy or Molly, and ketamine, a powerful anesthetic, just to name a few.
A single dose of the compound can rapidly change behavior for a long period of time, even after the drugs have been cleared from the system. They're not cures, but they're getting us, one step closer in that direction. Wouldn't it be great if a patient could only had to take a drug, once a week, once a month, or once a year instead of every single day?
Olson says eventually his team will conduct human clinical trials, but the institute plans to take their research a step further, taking a deep dive into the chemistry of these drugs and engineer the next generation of psychedelics.
It may be possible to separate some of the beneficial effects of psychedelics from their effects on perception. And if you can remove the hallucinogenic effects of the drugs, you might be able to create more scalable alternatives that can impact a larger percentage of patients.
Now, the Institute for Psychedelics and Neurotherapeutics is a $5 million project, and it's funded in part by the College of Letters and Science at the School of Medicine at UC Davis. And thanks so much for joining us for today's conversation on psychedelics. We'd love to hear what you think. Should adults be allowed to use them under supervision? You can post your thoughts using the hashtag KPIX.